Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shay Ali here with you on Inspired Online, and we've got a little bit of a different topic today. I don't think we've done this particular topic for quite a while, but we're going to talk about fertility, and particularly fertility in, if you're a little bit older. So, I remember being 32 years old, and I'd just broken up with my partner and being told by a friend of mine, oh, that's very brave at this age. I was like, oh my God, how rude. um, but here's a lady that does not have that sort of let's see, belief, because she had her first child at 44 and has helped many other couples with as few as one session even to help them get pregnant naturally and to have children. So if having children is your dream, your desire and your wish, this is a lovely lady that helps everybody do that. She has been a regular guest on BBC, and she always used to go to the Fertility Show in London. Of course, we're not doing anything live right now, and has an amazing array of skills to help people do that. Anything from coaching to reflexology to all sorts of magic stuff that I'm sure she does. So welcome to Katharine.
Hello, Shay. Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. So we're going to start with the question that I ask all my speakers first, which is, if you had to share your wisdom with the world in a nutshell, what would you say?
Your body is your greatest gift,
That's
as are
lovely.
your emotions.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So we're looking at physical body and emotional body. So let's break that up a little bit. If you are giving someone some advice into how best to look after their physical selves, right, and especially right now, what would you say to them?
Your physical self, what I'm seeing with a lot of couples, especially the ladies at the moment, that periods are stopping. And don't be panicked by that. It's where we're not living how we're supposed to live. And the effect of our lifestyles during lockdown is having a major impact. So you have to get out. You have to get it out in the light, and you have to exercise and still live and breathe. Do not exist inside all of the time. Good for mental health, good for your body.
Absolutely. Okay, so when you say exist inside all the time, do you mean actually go physically outside and look at the
I
sun?
do. So slightly, it's not the COVID policy to go out lots, but if you can go out during quality daylight every day between 11 and 2, and without your eyewear, so no glasses, no sunglasses, and no contact lenses.
Oh, wow.
This is going to switch your fertility and your hormone levels back on.
I've got your little one in the back.
Homeschooling. Do you want to say hello on the video, Mandela? You're allowed to say hello.
Hello.
Say hello.
Oh. So we've talked about physical health, and you mentioned exercise, which is something I'm super passionate about myself. But how much exercise is good? I mean, for me, it was 2 hours a day, which horrifies a lot of people. So, just to keep healthy rather than being fanatical about it, what would you recommend?
I think it's balance. I think it's energizing the body and allowing the body to relax. So it's that yin and yang energy. So yeah, go and get your cardio. Go for a massive walk, lots of fresh air. Don't have to run. As long as you get your heart rate up about 3-4 times a week for longer than 30 minutes, that's good. And then take the other side. Take the time to meditate and do the calmer stuff like the yoga and the relaxation. Qigong, amazing,
Okay.
brilliant. So look at exercise as several parts. You've got the cardio, you've got the strength. You could get your baked bean cans or your weights, whatever you've got at home, and just do a little bit of work. You don't have to be an expert to do exercise. You don't need the right kit. You don't need anything. You just need to feel good about what you're doing.
Fantastic. I'm qualified in body pump myself, actually, and I spoke to one of our speakers was in that realm, and he said even if you've got a rucksack and fill it with books,
Yeah,
as your weight.
anything you've got. Yeah. It's
Oh,
always to do it gently when you're starting. And obviously with fertility, I wouldn't recommend excessive cycling or jogging for men, because we
Okay.
know it damages sperm. So when you're
Wow.
looking at the physical exercise of your partner, just be aware that those two things are not highly recommended when you're trying to conceive.
I never actually knew that even. Okay. So what you've talked about cardio and maybe 4 times a week for 30 minutes, but is that really the optimal for men and women? And what sort of cardio are we talking?
Well, it's anything that gets your heart rate up, really. So, if you find walking on the flat very easy, then you might want to go a bit uphill, something that gets you puffing, gets you, exhausted. But you can feel where you are in your own exercise. If you're not enjoying it, then it's probably a bit hard. If you're getting the endorphins after, it's probably about right. But yeah, I think 4 times a week. But if you wanted to be a bit more excessive, then you could do 7 days a week quite easily for an hour. I mean, athletes do more.
Yeah.
Your body is just this. You just train it, don't you? And it'll deliver the results.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about mental health then, because it was such an important issue really for everybody, not only those that are trying for children right now. What would you say is something that we can do in order to improve that? And you've mentioned meditation, qigong already, but what sort of practices do you think would help?
So I'm also quite a skilled coach in anxiety. And what is happening is that as our dial in our head goes up on the radar of calm to, oh, there's a bear, we are in this zone at the moment when there's so much fear. The little dial keeps like doing this. And because we're not exercising or because we're not connecting with people, it doesn't do that easily. So what I recommend to everyone, believe it or not, is chamomile tea.
Oh, wow.
Proper chamomile tea is very, very successful. People undermine it, but quality chamomile tea 3 or 4 times a day, really good, and keeps that dial down. But there's a little video on my Instagram that talks about anxiety and how to keep it where it needs to be, because we forget that we are the blue sky, we are happy, we are joyous, that we have no difference except we've got all these thoughts that we're believing and all this stuff that we're watching and we're telling ourselves. You need to detox your life if you want mental health. You have to stop watching the news. You have to stop watching the constant social media that's coming at you. So switch yourself off, get back in your body, think about what makes me happy, what can I do differently today. But first and foremost, know that there is one question that will save you from mental health, and that is that true? Because 94 to 96% of the stuff that goes on in here, rubbish. We're making up stories, we're living in tomorrow. Stay in the day and ask yourself all day long, is that true? Because mostly the stuff that we're in and we're telling ourselves and we're believing, it's not real. It's just worry and ego mind getting the upper hand. But you are always fine. Remember that. It's just your thinking. Think of it as like a cloudy day. If you're feeling low, you've just got some clouds. The blue sky, still there. Let the clouds pass. They will pass, and then you can do something about it. But thinking from a grey place, no good. Stop thinking. All right, and get in your body and do some exercise or reach out. Reaching out is very important. If you're not talking, get talking.
Absolutely. And if you wanted to, integrate these meditation practices into your life, I have a lot of conversations with people that just find that really hard to stay present. And to be honest, I have my moments too. I am someone that does meditate, but sometimes it is really hard when your brain is thinking, yeah, but I haven't done my washing yet. Whatever it
Yeah,
might be.
yeah.
How do you stay present?
It's about staying in the day, and it is practice. I mean, we have so much going on that maybe before you meditate, you could just write your list so it's out of your head. You could look at sort of breaking it down. So I look at life in terms of, the priorities. We can't do it all. None of us at the moment can do it all because we're being stretched in too many directions. So what can you do today that means you will go to bed happy? It's like a lot of single mums I know. Unbelievably difficult. And if your children are fed, they're happy, they're in bed, they're safe and they're warm, you've done your job for the day. So bring things back to the simplicity of, what does my heart feel that I need to do today to be happy? Get those things done and defer, delete, delegate, all the D's. There's the 4 D's for any problem, or do it. You know, if it's something that's bothering you, do it. Then go and do your meditation. Because you can say, I've achieved something today and I've finished something. I feel good because I can do one big tick. You know, I have a superwoman chart, which really helps. And all my clients have a superwoman chart and they love it because you feel really empowered. And that is just to tick something really simple off every day. It might be taking a supplement or going for a walk or doing some stretching, but it's simple and it's a tick on your sheet to say, I did something for me today.
Yeah, I love that. And it's this concept of, make it easy, make the wins easy for yourself. So, how many rules do we have in our life that say, well, if only this, and this happens, then I'll get to give myself permission to feel good. So that's lovely.
We have so much programming around what we should. If you hear yourself thinking, I should, I ought to, I better, then they're all coming from programming. Our whole lives are really coming from our subconscious programmed mind. So 95% of us, 5% of your day, you're actually you and you're making your own decisions. So the rest of it is programmed.
Absolutely. And
it's about loving you. Love you first. Love you. And then everything else will be fine.
Everything else will flow. I'm also fascinated by your personal story, which you've shared on your website as well, about your first pregnancy was when you were 44. So what was that like for you, and what inspired you then to help other women and men, couples with this journey?
So yes, so fell pregnant at 44. I did my own work on me. So since about 2005, for some reason, it was like a calling. I can't really explain it any better, but all the pieces of the perfect fertility 360 journey came together. Okay. And because fertility isn't about one thing or a bit of this or a bit of that. You see a lot of these free tips and do this and do that. It's not that works. It's when you do 360. And all the pieces came together, and I am no different to anyone else. I had to do my work on my body, but it was lovely. And it was the opposite of hard and the opposite of stressful. It was just knowing and doing everything. And I got pregnant just as I was on my 44th birthday and fell pregnant. I'll tell you a funny story one day, offline probably. And I sort of was like, had the healthiest pregnancy, no problem. I didn't have any problem falling pregnant. I had a super pregnancy, and now you can see I've got a very healthy big boy. But it's like we're programmed again to believe our eggs are aging and our fertility is declining. Fertility is like anything else in your body, like your brain, your muscles, your heart. If you know how to keep it healthy, it will be there when you need it. So I was tottering along, keeping myself fertility healthy, and then found the right man. Because we're always like, you got to do this, you got to find the right person, you got to be in the right house, you got to find the right job, you got to this. No, you just have to not be so clinical about it. Your time to have a baby will never seem right. So you just get on with it. And I had a beautiful pregnancy, and now I have a little boy called Mandela. No problem at all. And most of my clients are late 30s, 40s, mid 40s. Wow. And they work with me and become more fertile every single day.
I love it. And was it hard to hold that belief? Because you see things everywhere about, oh, you might need IVF at this age, and the NHS is not you anymore.
Yeah, I can see why people panic, and I know that there are egg freezing parties going on, you know, have your career and save your eggs, and this is not necessary. If you follow a fertile lifestyle, you completely treasure and look after your fertility, and I show people how to do that. But it's like, I never had the fear. This body that we have is just so miraculous. There's nothing wrong with it. The reason it doesn't get pregnant for people is because your body's almost protecting you. You can't have a baby because it's not ideal for you to have a baby at that point until your body's ready. So I know that sounds really backwards, but I also knew that IVF didn't change the raw material. It doesn't change the egg. It doesn't change the sperm. And it doesn't really create hormone balance. It tries to trick the body, right, but the body doesn't need tricking. It is phenomenal what your body can achieve. And in 3 months, a lot of my people only work with me 3 months. So that's the truth of the matter. And do I think most couples need IVF? No. Some, yes, but not most.
I love that. And yeah, you know, I've had a lot of I'm not going to be too specific with this, but I've had a lot of friends that, you know, have had, well, even been through the IVF cycle and it's failed, and then get pregnant after.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
How does that happen? You know, I've also had someone who was like, do you know what? I completely gave up on the idea and I spent the money. I'm not going to say on what because that will make away who it was, but it was a large sum of money that they spent on something. And then they had their kids.
Well, you see, people often think if they failed IVF that means they're even less fertile. You know, they say to themselves, well, even IVF didn't work. You know, that's complete fallacy. All IVF is a new opportunity, and we get one of those every month if your cycles are regular. So for me, it doesn't surprise me that women go on to have successful pregnancies with me after failing more than one IVF and having critical AMH levels, which do change, critical sperm problems. You know, it's all changeable because your body is always changing. And I think, yeah, there's a lot to do with mind body when you relax, because when you're in stressed, you've got two systems, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. So if you're stressed, your fertility literally shuts you down because it says, well, there's a bear around the corner, so this woman shouldn't get pregnant right now. And of course, if you think of most women in our modern lifestyle working, they are so stressed. So one of my most important jobs is to bring a woman back to her queen energy and her creative energy and her empowerment and her beauty and her femininity and all these wonderful things, and stop just being a slave to stress, to work, to everything else that's going on in the world. So yeah, I'm not surprised that that's happened.
Okay. Now you mentioned creativity and femininity, and I know in the chakra system, the kind of fertility chakra, if you like.
Yeah, sacral chakra.
The creativity is linked, and so how would you say that impacts each other?
Say that again. Ask again. Sorry.
How would you say that they impact each other, the creativity and the capacity to have children?
So at our base quantum physics level, we're all energy. So you've got the male and female energy, and what ends up happening in our world is we've got so many women with male energy. Right. So they're not remembering their creativity, their connection with their feminine selves, you know. So it is about giving them practices that amaze them, because they can feel their body and they can feel their inner being and they can feel like their inner guidance. You know, that thing I said to you earlier about emotion. Yeah. Emotion is just trying to direct you to the right place, but we have a thing about it that means it's bad to have emotion, it's bad to be upset. And it's not, it's driving you to the right action, you know. So I think for women, it's getting back in your bodies and starting to create, because usually when we're about the age of 7, we're doing things that are really creative, and we've lost that. We've been trained to go to work. And I'm not saying you don't have work, of course you can have work, but we need to reconnect with how awesome we are, just amazing. Because the uterus is that center of creation. It's so stunningly creative.
So we need to keep engaging with that. And what is it for men? So do they also have to engage with their creativity? What would you say to them?
Not really. I mean, there's lots of things I advise for men, and how to make sure their sperm's not damaged, because obviously it changes all the time. You know, you can have a test one week and it's different to the next week. So there are a set of things that men really need to think about doing and not doing. But absorption of the male needs to feel absorbed by the female energy, and that's when you get the connection and the love and the passion and all those wonderful things. So a lot of my work is creating intimacy in that, and restoring it, because let's be honest, most people have lost the happiness sometimes with fertility and the joy of making love. So, but in terms of the balance, our women are so powerful that sometimes they leave the men feeling a bit, that's not good. You know, we need to embrace the man, and there's a lot of great work out there, like Brené Brown, TED Talks on vulnerability, you know, how to be a vulnerable female so that you don't disempower your man, because he's not going to feel the passion. He's not going to feel like he's winning you. And when we're talking about all these things, there's chemicals that are released called oxytocin that are very important for love and connection and touch, and all these things come in. And if your body's flooded with oxytocin, you're far more likely to feel loved, feel safe, and therefore get pregnant.
Okay. So what would you say to someone who was considering, this is going to sound like sacrilege after what you've just said, but it was the next question that came to mind. If someone were considering like the sperm bank, or, you know, people that they know that they're not necessarily in love with, but who've gone, do you know what, if you want to do this, fine, I'll have a child with you, but we're not going to be in a relationship or anything.
Everybody's choice is their own, and there's no judgment in that choice. I mean, there is very a rosy picture painted about parenting and having a baby, and all the magazines are full of it, and the TV's full of it. Again, it's programming. So if you're going to have a baby on your own, and go that route, it is very difficult, and it should be carefully considered. But as long as you have lots of support around you, because it really is quite the challenge that even highly, you know, I've worked with VPs of major global businesses before who are going through things like IVF and, you know, IUI with donated sperm and all these things. And it is very stressful. And I worked with a client once. She was beautiful. She was working on Plan B constantly, which was this IUI with sperm donors. And I said, hang on a minute, stop. Where's Plan A? She was so miserable and so sad, and she kept doing these IUIs. And I think she's about 9. Anyway, I got her to work on Plan A, and now she has the most beautiful, perfect husband. They're so right together, and she'd got her fertility good with me, and now, of course, they've got their baby, and I think she's about 46 now.
Oh wow!
So don't ever give up on Plan A.
Oh, I love it.
Beautiful.
Plan A is always, well, I don't know, actually. For some people, maybe Plan A is not better, but
yeah,
that's certainly.
It's all choice. It's all personal choice.
Yeah. And then we talked earlier about no time is the right time, but somehow the spirit of your baby seems to know when it's the right time, even if you think it's the right
time.
But if there was any way we could figure out the right time, what would you say a right time would be? Are there any signs to that?
Well, the right time is always when your body is at its best. When you're feeling loved, you're feeling supported, you're feeling strong, but you've taken your preconception steps. That's the only thing I say to women who are approaching their 40s, into their 40s, or indeed in their 30s, because our lifestyles can be quite unhealthy, is get preconception health first.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the most important thing. And when you feel like your health is thriving, then, because obviously in the first 12 weeks your baby is made, you know, then after that it forms and then it just grows. So in 12 weeks it needs everything from your body. So yeah, make sure that you've got support though. That's all I would say.
Wonderful. It's been so lovely to spend this time with you today, and thank you for that fascinating conversation. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience?
So remember that we took millions of years of evolution to become what we've become. If we stop living how we're designed to live, your fertility will be turned off, and you simply need to reset it. So don't panic. And when you get tests, you're testing something that's not working. That's not ideal. You need to get ready first, because the tests get you very depressed, very sad, and get you shockingly down fertility routes that maybe you don't need. So be careful of getting lots of different fertility tests, because that's just proving that something's not working already. Go and get proper help.
Fantastic. And if someone would like your help in this area, how can they reach out to you?
So I do a complimentary consultation at the moment for everybody, and I work online with lots of people all over the world. So yeah, you can reach out, sign up for a consultation. We'd have a nice chat, see what's going on for you, and then work out how you unravel it and how we get you back to fertile. So yeah, my website, shall I give you the name of it?
Yes, please do. So
the fertility.mummabe, that's MAMABE, fertility.mummabe.co.uk. And if you go to treatments, you'll see a free consult there. So that's the best way to reach me at the moment.
Fabulous. Well, we'll share that link with the video as well.
Thank you, my love.
Thanks.
Or follow me on Instagram. That's a good place as well.
And what's your Instagram handle?
It's just @mummabe_fertility.
Fabulous. Well, to all those out there that want to use this time to get fertile.
I know, it's a very useful time. Yeah.
Wow.
What else are you going to do?
It could be one of your projects. But obviously make your own decision. Don't follow my advice.
Well, when do you have this much time available? Come on, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll get a baby boom, won't we, in about a few months' time?
I think we probably will. Anyway, take care. All the best.
All right, Andrew, Shay, lovely to meet you. Take care, my love.
You.
Bye. Bye.